This is ZNS Total Sports, brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
This is your first look at sports. I'm Jonathan Benson. Over the years, there have been calls for sloop sailing to replace cricket as the national sport of the Bahamas. And as we get set to celebrate our 40th anniversary of independence, that campaign is receiving even more support. The latest has come from fashion mogul and businessman Peter Nygaard, who himself will be putting on a regatta tomorrow on waters off Joas Beach. Dubbed the best of the best independence regatta, some of the top C-class sloops in the country will be involved in the 3-race series, which will be overseen by race coordinator Stafford Ambrister.
The waters are some of the best waters you want to sail in, no reefs, no shallow waters, so we'll be having a good time with the regatta site, and the rules are the same. And not because we're in life with key now. They say no Nygaard rules. The rules are still the sailing rules that we always sail by. We'll be sailing by those rules, and I'm looking forward to having a very, very good time. Gentlemen, ladies, all you will be sailing, just let's be on time. And because of what Mr. Nygaard is doing, we need to make him feel proud by showing him that we too, as Bahamian, could be on time. No such thing as Bahamian time. We're going to sail on time, and so that the spectators could have a full day of enjoyment.
Well, thanks to the support of youth empowerment through Soccer International, schools within the Northwestern District of New Providence have been able to get a program going, and Superintendent Howard Newbold is pleased with the results.
We were a little slow with part of the infrastructure, as you would imagine. Anything starting from scratch would have needed some kind of direction. And once we would have been established with the field itself, the league was developed. There would have been those Saturday games at Gambia, and it's interesting that so many other schools that are in close proximity to Northwestern have been clamoring for a spot within that league.
Well, the 18th annual Nelson Cooper Peace on the Street Basketball Classic will take over the Kendall Isaacs Gym July 17th through the 20th, and organizer Carlos Reed is expecting this year's tournament to be the best yet.
This year, our tournament again will consist of 5 different divisions. One would be the 13 and under, the 16 and under, the 19 and under, the choice division, and the open division. Our family night, which has become a crowd pleaser over the years, will again start at 5 p.m. and it will be hosted on July the 20th. That is a Saturday evening. This night will feature our championship games in each one of the different divisions. We'll also have our 3-point shootout, as well as the Phil Food Services Slam Dunk Contest, which has become a crowd pleaser. This Slam Dunk Contest, again, will feature some of the Sprite Slam Dunk champions from across America. Worm will be back to defend as champion, and we have some newcomers coming this year as well. Our Slam Dunk contest for the past several years has been featured on ESPN.
As we get set to celebrate 40 years as an independent nation, Family Island Sports Development is finally set to get its due, with more money being allocated in the budget, and that is music to the ears of Brian Clare, who's a sports officer in the North Andros District. Our Charles Fisher was recently in the Big Yard, and he spoke to Clare about a sporting facility there which really needs an overhaul.
It was built some 27 years ago, a multi-purpose gym, and according to North Andros Sports Officer Brian Clare, it has deteriorated over the years and now just sitting there.
On numerous occasions, when it was in good condition, the high school used to use it for graduation. We had a few boxing matches in here, a few political rallies was in here. Other than that, the gym was just sitting. Over the past 2 years, I have moved the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture local office into this building to assist with the maintenance.
During the budget communication, it was announced that some $10 million will be allocated for construction of gyms on the Family Islands, something Claire was happy to hear.
I was excited when I heard that because we can use a couple of million right here in Andros to refurbish this auditorium. In addition to that, just behind the auditorium, we have about 9 acres of land that was preserved for sports development here in the North Andros area. This specific area was designed to the sports center for North Andros. We have the track right next door. We have the auditorium here. We want to put some tennis courts here. We want to put some baseball diamond here. So this is the spot we chose to develop as the sports center for Andros.
And as president of the Andros Basketball Association, Brian is hoping that the gym can be refurbished by next year, April, as his intentions is to host the BBF Round Robin Nationals.
This auditorium has a rich history because so many people in the North Andros area has contributed substantially to the construction of this facility, and it's been sitting here for the last 26, 27 years, and gradually it have gotten deteriorated. So we want to bring it back to the level and the state it once was, so we can have conferences and championships game here.
For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
All right, thanks a lot, Charles. Well, the AAA Marine Softball Invitational took place in Spanish Wells over the weekend. Organizers spoke about how this year's tournament went and what they're expecting moving forward.
I'm happy. At least we got more teams to come up. We got 4 teams this year. The girls got more competition. You know, the more teams we see, the better we can get.
It is, the more the merrier, but we gotta do better scheduling than what we're doing. The game's got to start on time, and all the teams from Nassau's got to be in on time, or wherever they come from, to keep it rolling. Right now, it's been hard to schedule more than 3 teams because of the hoteling and what, it's limited. But with the Lutheran right there and everything, and the island getting more houses what's on rent, we could probably go to more teams. I hope so next year, that we could expand to more teams in the AAA tournament.
We don't want to let softball die. That's the reason we formed our own league. You could see the park. Last night they said the park was full. So it's very important for the island. The island loves it. The teams was calm. I'm very happy with how they conducted themselves, and hopefully it'll get better.
Now, organizers are in full agreement that in order to have more success moving forward, more youngsters have to get involved.
I think the whole Bahamas needs to get the youth involved. If we don't start, where we have a small island, if we don't start with the youth, we ain't got nothing. It starts with the young players first. It's like that young pitcher for the Brackets. I went with the U.S. on a trip last summer with her. She could hardly throw a strike. And Shanti, now I reckon she's pitching pretty good, and I'm proud of her.
Well, it's just over a week to go now before the start of the 18th annual Nelson Cooper Peace on the Street Basketball Classic at the Kendall Isaacs Gym. Tournament play will open next week, Wednesday, but of course, everyone is waiting for the final night of play on Saturday, July 20th, which features the pastors up against the politicians.
We have gotten commitment from so many of the politicians, and they have vowed that they are going to defeat the pastors this time around. The pastors lead the series 3-0. But the Honorable Kayla's Roll has told me that the Prime Minister, the Honorable Perry Christie, have mandated them to bring back the trophy and told them that if they don't, then they must not come back to cabinet. So we're going to see what's going to be happening with that in this game.
Now, organizer Carlos Reed went on to say that this year's pastors versus politicians game will be played in honor of former sports minister, the late Charles Maynard.
Charles Maynard played in this tournament for a number of years. In fact, one of the memorable experiences that I can remember, that Charles and the now Deputy Prime Minister were going at each other in the House of Assembly. But when they were on the basketball court, I remember that Charles Maynard had fell down on the ground. And Brave Davis went over to him, the Honorable Brave Davis, went over to him and offered his hand and pulled him up. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that's what the power of sports does. It helps us to forget personalities, differences, and cause us to unite for common good.
And that will do it for sports, but don't go anywhere. There's more to come after the break.
This is ZNS Total Sports, brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.